Hello and welcome to the Make Retro Games channel. In this video we're going to set up an Amiga 1200 emulator and optionally also install AMOS. The emulator we're going to set up is FS-UAE and it's an Amiga 1200. So let's go!
Hello! In today's episode we're going to set up the AMOS development environment, and it looks like this. And to be able to run the AMOS environment we need to have an emulator in the background. And this is the one we're going to use. It's called FS-UAE. So let's get into it. Here I have a small list of things we need to do. And the first one is to download the FS-UAE plus a launcher. And I also have a link to it here, but I have already opened it here. So you can see here we have different packages depending on the operational system. For me, I'm using an old Mac from 2010, so I have the Intel processor in it. So these two are the ones that I'm going to download. And if you have a newer Mac with an M1, you can use this ARMS one, and I have that on another computer and it works fine there also. So let's download these just by clicking on them, and then we download the other one. Okay, and we'll have to wait until they are downloaded. Okay, so now they are downloaded. The next step is to get the Kickstart ROM for this Amiga 1200. That's the computer we're going to use in this case. And if you have an Amiga 1200, you can freely download it from Google, the Kickstart ROM. I will not show you the link, but you can Google it yourself because it's actually licensed. So if you don't have the Amiga 1200, you can't just download it from Google, or you can, but it's not legal. So then you can buy it from Amiga Forever, and we're going to just show you how that looks like. And you have three different versions here. If you're a Windows user, you can use the cheapest one here, but if you're a Mac user, you need to have the more expensive one, because there are no installer for the Mac in this one. At least that's what I have found out. Okay, so let's I will now get my Kickstart ROM and for this computer, and the next step is to now install the emulator and the launcher for the emulator. So let's do that. Okay, so here we are now. We have downloaded both these files and also the Kickstart I have here, so everything is in one place. And now we will install the launcher and the emulator itself, but it doesn't matter in what order. So we just double click on that one, and we should... Okay, so we just drag it in here. Okay, so let's take the other one. Okay, let's do this one also. Yes, we are now done with that. So next step is to go back to the run book and see where we are. We have now installed FS-UAE plus launcher, and actually we have some extra. I have done some notes here also. So next we need to import the Kickstarts. The launcher, like that. And there it is. This is the place where we can make one or several different setups for each emulator, but we're gonna just set up one, and that's for the A1200. But for now we will not do that. It comes in a later stage. But I had some notes over here, and that's import the kickstarts. So you can either click down here or you can click up here. So if you have bought this from Amiga Forever, you can use this place. I had mine in the downloads folder, so let's try to find them. Downloads, that's the folder. Now it will see if it finds it. Yes, one ROM is imported, and then you see Amiga 1200 down here. Good. So now that's done. And you see it still says to import ROMs here, but that's because we need to... No, it disappeared. And we also want to have clipboard sharing between the host machine and the emulator. And then we need to go to an advanced setting here and and add this clipboard sharing equals 1. So I will show you that also. Not this one. You have to press here, and then you have another settings here. And this is global for the whole thing. It's not just to a specific emulator. It's for everyone. So we need to go to the advanced tab, and then we need to place what was it now again? It was clipboard sharing. Clipboard sharing equals 1. And then we go back again. We should also set full keyboard emulation to on. Go to keyboard. Full keyboard emulation on. And why I'm doing this is because the left Amiga button on the keyboard will not work if you don't do this. It will be occupied by the FS-UAE, but we want the left Amiga button to be able to use inside the emulator instead, not the sort of administrator of the UAE. So we need to have this to on. And let's go back again. And then if you are on a newer Mac, this is a really old one, you also need to do this step down here. It's an additional privacy. Otherwise you can't use the mouse. And of course you want to do that. So now that's done. Okay, next step is to download Classic Workbench, and that's a hardware image with a Workbench installed on it. But we still need to have the Workbench files, the original files, and they will be combined to have a nice looking Workbench for us. So let's download that. And we'll go over here. And there is actually a specific version for Classic Workbench UAE that we will use. So that's the one. There are several others, but we will use the UAE version. And it's now downloaded. So next step for us, it was not really done. You see here, it's working, but we'll go back here. Next step is to get the Workbench files. And these are also something that you can get from the internet, and I think they are actually free to download, but I don't know really, so you have to Google for it. It's not hard to find, but I will not tell you the direct link to it. So I will get mine. Yes. Now I have both the classic Workbench here and the Amiga Workbench, the original 3.1. So let's get back to the runbook to see what we're going to do next. Now it's time to install the classic Workbench. And there are some instructions here. So head over to them here. Up here. Downloading, we have done that part. And then we need to extract the files also, of course. And then we should place them in a specific location, so we could sort of have the Workbench in a hard drive. So let's do that next then. Okay, now I have extracted those two, so I have them here. Let's head back to the instructions, and we will create an empty folder called ClassicWB. Let's go here again, and then it's under Documents, and we have hard drives, and then we will add a new folder called ClassicWB, and then go back to instructions. We should have a PC, but I have a Mac instead, so I add a Mac folder here instead. Let's go in here. Mac. It doesn't matter, because that's you can put stuff here to reach from inside the emulator, so you can call it whatever you like, but it's called Mac for me. And then we should it says that we should put the two HDF files and inside this ClassicWB, but I know that we only need one of those, and that is actually in the system P96. That's the one we're going to use. So let's go over here and we'll open up this one, hard drives. We have those two here, but we only need one. And it should be in this location. Yes, we're here. So let's put it here. We have that one. Okay, it's also said that we're gonna move the software folder, or copy the software folder to the ClassicWB location. So let's do that. We have the software here. I'm still under the ClassicWB here, so I just drag and drop it into that one here. So now we have the software and the system P96 HDF file in ClassicWB. So that's good. Let's head back again to the instructions. Initial setup. Now it's time to create our Amiga here. So we already did that stage. We have the A1200 over here, and then we should go over to the hard drive file. You see here. And now we should select the P96. That's the one that's going to boot from. And then we need to add the software folder and the PC folder. You can do everything in one. As you see here, first of all we need to have a file. So we get hard drive ClassicWB, and then we have the file, open it, and then we need a folder, and that was the software folder. And lastly, we also have the Mac folder. That's the one. So now we have all those in place. Let's go back to the instructions. We also need one or more Workbench disks. Okay, so we have all those 6 Workbench disks now, and we need the floppy place, and now you see that there are 4 locations here, so you can put in 6 at once. So we need to put them here and then choose in runtime which one we should actually put in the disk. So let's do that. Back to the downloads. Now we have all those files, and I think we should have all the package here, because it will be full with disks here later on when we have done all our programs and so on. So it's good to have them here. And now let's back and choose those from within the I can show you again with plus floppies, and then let's take all of them. Now they are here, but they are not inserted now, they are just there, so you can sort of continue with the or choose in runtime, as I said before. So let's see what's next. We have done all the things. So now it seems like, okay, when asked insert to disk, yeah, but we haven't even set up a machine yet, so we need to do that. I don't know, they have no instruction for it here. So that we need to do first, otherwise we can't start up the machine. So let's head over to my run book, and I have actually here a setup that I know works. I'm not an expert in this, but I have seen on other places that this is something that we can use, so let's do it like that. First of all, we change to this one, and then we should have the Kickstart ROM, and that's the one here, and we can take custom, and then will automatically be filled in there. Next, chip ROM, and sort of 3 and ARM here, of course. Chip ROM, 2 MB. Can't get it higher because then I get a warning, so that's what I have done. And then I use this 264. Haven't tried anything else, but it works. And then we also should have this, and that's very important, otherwise you will not be able to have high resolution in the Workbench. So we're going to choose this one and this one, and then network card. We have this one, and then those should be enabled. Let's go here, enable this one, and enable. We should have 800 here, and I miss something. Yeah, this one. Okay, I think we're done with everything, and I have a note also down here that we must set up keyboard mappings if we have another keyboard on the English keyboard, but that we want to do until we have installed the things. So now we need to save this A1200 ClassicWB save. So we have it there. Now we can start it and do the real installation. Yeah, okay, let's run this emulator. So, see if it works. Yeah, you can hear the drive, disk drive, and then continue, insert disk. Yeah, now you need to press F12, and that's where you choose from the list that we imported all those floppies before, and you should use the Workbench now, not the install one. It will come up later, but Workbench is the first one. You see that's also what it says here, Workbench 3.1 disk. Press enter. And now it will install. Takes a little while. Yes, I want to upgrade to 3.1. Okay, next disk, and let's see, we need to change it to the, what was it now, it said again, let's go back and look, extras, there it is, okay. Okay, now let's say enable on this one. Now, few minutes, this will take a very long time, but wait for it. You will get there finally, but on this machine I think it will take over 10 minutes, so I'll be right back. Okay, and we're finally done. So let's do what they say here now. Take out the disk, eject, and reboot. And that in our reset Amiga here. Hard reset can do. Now it should actually be started for the first time. And there we have it. It took a little while, but now we're up and running. That's good. We have an Amiga chip and 2 megs of chip memory and 64 megs of fast. So that's good. And now you see we have mapped the Mac folder here and the system folder and the software folder. So let's go back to the installation instruction. And now you can see here that you have optional things. We don't need to do that because that's if you want to set up an Amiga 4000, and we don't want or need that one now. But we will need to do this key mapping over here if we have another keyboard than an English keyboard. And for me, I have a Swedish keyboard, so I need to do this step. So we need to map from storage key maps to devs key maps. And we can actually size it up this a little bit. Like that. And then go to system. And let's go back to see storage key maps. Okay. Storage. And then we have key maps. And then we should find an S1 for Swedish keyboard. Yeah, it's over here. And that should be moved to devs key maps. So we have devs over here. And we have key maps in here. Okay, so The instruction says that we will drag this one over here, and we can also remove the British one because we don't need it, and there actually is an American one in the ROM itself. So okay, now we have done that, so go back to the instruction, and we have done that, place it back, and now we need to go to prefs input, and right click prefs, and input is here. Really slow on this machine, as I said. Let's see if we can. Come on, come on. Yes, here it is. And now you see we have American and Svensk, Swedish. So we take that one and we can use it. And I think we also can now maybe test. Yeah, have a Swedish letter. So we can save it. And we're done with that part of the installation. So, step 7 and 8 left. We first need to download AMOS Pro. And that's totally open source now, so it's free for us to download. So, we have it on GitHub here. Here, and we need to download it, so let's download zip file. Yeah, it's coming down. Let's go here to the downloads folder. It's not really done yet, almost done. Okay, it's downloaded. I have it here. Let's extract it. Yes, there it is. And we actually only need the AMOS folder in here because that's the pre-built version for us. The rest is if you want to build it completely yourself, then you need to compile everything. So we just need this AMOS folder, and we're going to put it in as a hard drive. So you have ClassicWB. Go in here. As you see, we have our Mac. We could put it under the Mac here also, but I think we should have it as a separate hard drive directly under here. So let's drag this from there to here. Okay, that's there. And then we need to go to the launcher and add it to our existing emulator, and we choose a folder, and we pick the AMOS folder, open it up, there it is, and now of course we need to restart to make it come up here. So let's move up to that one and shut it down and save this new thing here and restart it. And there we have it, the AMOS folder. Yes, so let's let it take its time to be done with the startup process. And now we can actually open AMOS, and we can open the AMOS Pro file. Hopefully we have done everything correct now, so this, yeah, there we have it. And we're done. Now you can swap between AMOS and the Workbench by pressing the left command or Amiga button A. So you can move out here and back again. And that wouldn't have worked if we didn't use this full keyboard emulation. So that's good. Well, I think we're done. Let's go back to the run book and see. Yeah, nothing more here. So hold on to the next episode when we're gonna start to do some code. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.